Chapter 6, Lesson 6, Day 2, Rotations. Rotating 90 degrees clockwise, counterclockwise, or 180 degrees. So yesterday we talked about actually physically turning the paper. That was method number 1, which is turn the paper 1/4 turn clockwise, in this case, because it's a 90-degree clockwise. And then write down the coordinates, turn the paper back, and plot the new points. Okay, so quick little review there. We rotate our paper 90 degrees. We get the coordinates 4, 1. B prime is 2, positive 4, and C prime is 2, positive 3. Okay, so then we turn it back and we draw in our new coordinates. A prime, B prime, and C prime would be 1, 2. Okay, so there's our new coordinates with our new image drawn in. Okay, so there it is. That's method number 1. Method number 2 that we're going to talk about today is the rules that you just have to memorize how to do it. You write the original points. So A is -1, positive 4. B is -4, positive 2. And C is -3, positive 2. Okay, and then the rule is switch your X and Y coordinates. Okay, so you're going to switch them around and then change the sign of the second number. So -1, 4 would then become 4, -1, and change it to positive 1. So 4, 1, the new coordinates would be 2, 4, and C prime would be 2, 3. And as you can see, we draw them in. Okay, and we have them correct. Okay, so, all right. Oh, I made a mistake on the original one. This should be -3, positive 1. And that would be 1, 3, which would also make this in our original picture it would be positive 1, positive 3. There we go. Just wanted to make that correction real quick. Okay, all right, so same thing example here. So again, we can rotate our paper counterclockwise, so we turn it to the left, and our new coordinates would be A is positive 1, positive 4, B prime would be 3, positive 1, and C prime would be 4, positive 4. Okay, and then again, turn paper right side back up, and we draw in our new coordinates. So 1, 4 is A prime, 3, positive 1 is B prime, and 4, positive 4 would be C prime. Okay, so there's our new image after it's been rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise with method number 1. Method number 2 now says you write the original points, 4, -1, 1, -3, and 4, -4. Switch your X and Y coordinates and then change the sign of the first number. So it becomes 1, positive 4, 3, positive 1, and 4, positive 4. And again, you can see that that's your new image after it's been rotated. Both methods work. Whichever one you like better is the one you can do. I still think that turning the paper is easier. There's not really much to remember except for which direction to turn your paper versus remembering these specific rules. But if you want to use the rules and memorize them, go for it. All the power to you. Okay. Same thing, method number one, turn the paper, okay, rotate it 180 degrees. Turn the paper completely upside down. We get our new coordinates. Okay, and then once we have our coordinates, we turn the paper back to being right side up. Okay. And then we draw in our coordinates. So -4, +1 is A prime. B prime is -1, +3, and -4, +4 is C prime. Okay. And there's your new image after it's been rotated 180 degrees. Okay. Same. Now method number 2 is again another rule. This time you're going to leave X and Y in the same place and just simply change the sign of both numbers. So 4 -1 becomes -4 +1. 1 -3 becomes -1 +3. And 4 -4 becomes -4 +4. Draw on your coordinates, and there is your rotation. Again, whichever method, 1 or 2, works best for you, that would be my recommendation for you to use. Okay, for the sake of the video, I'm going to just use method 2 for right now. Okay, so for method 2, all we're going to do is switch the X and the Y and then change the sign of the second number. Okay, so for our coordinates would be -4, +2 for A. B is 0, 0, 4. And C is -2, +1. So switch X and Y and change the sign of the second number. So that means that A prime would be 2, +4. 4, 0 would be, can't change the sign of 0, so that stays the same. And then C prime would be 1, +2. Okay, so there's your rotation of 90 degrees clockwise based on the coordinates. So same thing here, A, B, and C, the coordinates, -4, -1. B is -1, -1. And C is -2, -4. So again, change your X and Y and change the sign of the second number. So A prime would be -1, +4. B prime would be -1, +1. And C prime would be -4, +2. So -1, +4 is A prime, -1, +1, B prime, and -4, +2 is C prime. So as you can see, both methods still do work, but again, if you can memorize the rule, then it is kind of easier to just follow the rule without having to turn papers or whatnot. But if it were me, I would still say, and I was struggling with memorization of the rules, I would remember that I can always rotate my paper. Okay. Now, same thing for rotating 90 degrees counterclockwise. So our first coordinate would be A is -4, -3. B would be -2, -2. And C would be -1, -4. Okay. And so then the rule for counterclockwise is to switch X and Y and change the sign of the first number. So A prime would be 3, -4. B prime would be 2, -2. And C prime would be 4, -1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A prime, 2, -2, and 4, -1. Okay, so again, there's your rotation. All right, so A is 1, 4. B is +1, +1. And C would be +4, +3. And then again, switch X and Y and change the sign of the first number. So A prime would be -4, +1. B prime would be -1, +1. And C prime would be -3, +4. Okay, so okay, I'm going to run out of room here because I just drew those in the wrong spot. So let me go back here. Okay, so let me do that one again. A prime would be -4, 1. B prime would be -1, 1. And C prime would be -3, +4. Okay, so -4, +1. A prime, -1, +1 is B prime, -1, 2, 3, 4 is C prime. Okay, so again, all I'm doing right now is I'm showing you examples of method 2, writing the rules and doing the rotations. Okay, and last but not least, for rotations of 180 degrees, you keep the coordinates the same, keep X and Y in the same spot, but just change both signs. So if A is 1, -4, B is 2, 0, and C is 4, -3. Okay, that means that A prime would be -1, +4. B prime would be -2, 0. And C prime would be -4, +3. So -1, -1, +4. B prime would be -2, 0. And C prime would be -4, +3. Okay, and again, that shows the rotation of 180 degrees. So A is 1, positive 4. B is 3, positive 5. And C is 2, 1. So A prime would be -1, -4. B prime would be -3, -5. And C prime would be -2, -1. So -1 is A prime, -3, -5 is B prime, and C prime would be -2, -1. Okay, so there you have it. That's method 2 of memorizing the rules for rotations. Okay, so that brings us to the end of our day 2 lesson with rotations. Please remember to attempt the checkpoint. And as always, thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you guys next time.